Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogbot333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, Kaiserreich as the German Empire. Last video, our entire economic system is it hasn't outright collapsed, but it's on the verge right now, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We're about to shit ourselves. Oh, our economy's already shat ourselves. Yeah. The economic crisis sparked discussions across various ideological circles and associations. Traditional consensus among German economists has failed, or at least is no longer being trusted by the average worker and politician. Witnessing millions being thrown to the streets and dozens of banks collapsing overnight, parties, associations, and trade unions now look forward to the government, towards the government for potential salvation, rather. That state intervention may help drive up demand and reinvigorate the economy during the financial cycles that have been contemplated during the interwar period, and these ideas have only gained more traction since Black Friday. The Journal of the General German Trade Union Federation, or ADEGB, Die Arbeit, has open discussion on what they have named the active economic policy after the publication of a political economic program by the trade unionists Fritz Tarnow and Fritz Bada. This plan, titled the Tarnow-Bada Plan, after its creators, posits that the creation of massive public works, which could employ up to 1 million people across the empire, as well as tighter banking controls, which would allow an extensive inflationary policy. According to Tarnow and Bada, work creation and fiscal inflation will provide relief for the poor and drive up demand, solving the downfall. While the ADGB is closely allied with the SPD, the party has actually distanced itself from the Tarnow-Bada plan. Otto Wels and Rudolf Hilferding have both criticized the ADGB for its direct invention in politics, which should be delegated solely to the party. For Tarnow and Bada's intentions to play doctor at the bedside of capitalism, undeterred, the trade unionists have been making waves across the press nonetheless, and earned the surprising endorsement of the Prussian Minister of War, Kurt von Schleicher. He described the work creation as the only way out of today's plight. Well, that's interesting. Well, the USA has accepted the Prittwitz Plan. The government of the U.S. has agreed upon the Prittwitz Plan. The first funds are already being sent to Washington to aid them in their economic recovery. Great. Let's do German-American self-defense associations. Because I don't know if I trust America right now, I'll be honest. Let's do this, sorry. It appears that civil war in the U.S. is inevitable. Our last result is to make sure that socialists are suppressed by military force. Through our contacts in German-American organizations, we can foster the formation of loyal self-defense militias that will rise up of the anti-socialist forces in the Civil War. Which forces exactly? Well, who knows. God damn it. The German agricultural sector, struggling for years at this point, has suffered greatly from the economic crisis sparked by the Black Monday market crash. It is the latest step in the persistent decline of German agriculture since the late 19th century, the culmination of many years of inefficient and outdated methods, unfortunate global market developments, and stalling, poorly future-oriented agrarian policies. Compared to its Western competitors, such as Britain or the U.S., German agriculture has consistently lagged behind in efficiency. 25% of all arable land in the empire is held by 0.2% of the landowners, most of which are operating in the East Elbe. But since the late 20s, small and mid-sized farmers all across the nation have started to feel the effects of a looming efficiency crisis as well. Steady price erosion for agricultural goods due to cheaper competition from abroad and shriveling purchasing power have slowly led many farmers into the nerve-ending downward spiral of growing indebtedness. What could initially be battled via the reintroduction of protective tariffs and import quotas, undoubtedly controversial policy instrument within Middle Europa, has at the end of the day only postponed the inevitable. With the collapse of the German banking sector, the looming crisis will soon aggravate as many states and enterprises which have relied on loans to stay afloat are bound to default on these in the near future. And the collapsing demand for agricultural goods could be the nail in the coffin. This substantial crisis has already begun to fuel the DKP electoral campaign, and has placed the question of a drastically different agricultural policy on the agenda. What many have seemed to have forgotten, though, is the fact that the Conservatives are partly responsible for themselves for this dilemma, via the candidate in the State Secretary of Agriculture, Martin Schuyler, and his controversial agricultural policies during the last decade. For now, his political fate is on a knife's edge. The great Juncker estates are a thing of the past. Oh, God. It just keeps getting worse. Oh, Jesus. A lot of shit is going down. Am I gonna sneeze? Can I decide if I'm gonna sneeze or not? Excuse me. Don't you hate it when you're about to sneeze, but your body just doesn't want to fully commit to it? And then it's like a will he, won't he, like you're watching fucking Friends or some shit. Anyway, the term of the incumbent mayor of Berlin, Heinrich Somm, is set to expire, and a new election is thus slated to be held by the Berlin City Council. A technocratic independent, Somm served as the mayor of several of our cities in the past before moving to Berlin. He's generally supported by local liberal and conservative deputies. The political upheaval after Black Monday gave an opportunity for Berlin Social Democrats to win elections to the City Council and appoint one of their own, Otto Ostrowski, current mayor of the Prenzlauer Berg borough of Berlin. Ostrowski is seen as a member of a left-wing faction of the SPD, and a victory for him would signal significant change in Berlin politics. It would also be a bellwether of a nation's turn to the left and power social democratic activities in other cities. Because of this, the LVP and DKP have joined forces in Berlin, seeking to keep Somm in power and return to victory for the right and center. Once the election comes and passes, the result is Otto Ostrowski is elected mayor of Berlin. Look at that. Reorganization is taking place among the German parties as the Social Democratic SPD and Liberal LVP have announced an official agreement on cooperation in the 36 Reichstag elections. The agreement, made between Hermann Mueller and Erich Koch, respective party chairmen, entails joint candidates in key constituencies and common policies the two parties will push to relieve the efforts of the Black Monday crisis in the next Reichstag. These policies include banking reform, public works, and other employment measures. In addition, both parties have professed their loyalty to the achievements of the March reforms of the Constitution and their dedication to defending them from the encroaching conservatives, and its name, Demokratische Union, Democratic Union. Before and during the Weltkrieg, the Progressive People's Party, or FDP, was a close ally of the SPD, and persistently ended up in its shadow, and the unification of the liberal parties into the LVP was seen as a way to escape this shadow and allow German liberalism to become a powerful force in its own right. The LVP's decision to restore the alliance with the SPD thus shows that ultimately they were unable to avoid their fate as a secondary power. Together for a democratic German empire. LVP sounds like a perpetual FPD. A Free Democratic Party? The sort of libertarian, but not really party in Germany. The market guys. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Always vice chancellor, never actual chancellor. Something like that. Centrum has seen better days. Since the end of the Weltkrieg, the party has helped to form all 10 cabinets, whether to the left, right, or center. A strategy that has left it sorely unprepared for these times of polarization, as it now struggles to keep its voters away from the SPD, DVLP, and upstart agrarian parties. Under these conditions, the party's ruling cadre has begun to waver. Centrum's current chairman, Theodor von Gerard, has served for the last 5 years with an eye on managing the party's various factions. But he has indicated that should Zentrum be pushed from power in the coming elections, he will retire from his position. The news has put the entire party on maneuvers, and the first blow has come from the right flank. Heinrich Held, the Bavarian minister-president, has published an article in the Kölnische Volkszeitung on the party's future, in which he calls not only for a stronger commitment to regional and conservative issues, but for the party to reach out to Protestant voters willing to defend both. And throwing the glove forward, Held revisits one of the party's most contentious debates. Over time, many writers and trade unionists have enchained the idea of taking Zentrum out of Zittawa, transforming it from a purely Catholic party to an all-Christian people's party. In their eyes, such a party could unite middle-class, working-class, and rural interests and provide a bulwark against the growing left. Held's remarks on Christian unity have been echoed by leading trade unionist Adam Stegerwald, who many believe to be the front-runner to succeed von Gerard. Party progressives watch these developments with concern. In recent years, the left flank has championed the Catholic nature of Zentrum out of fears that a Protestant votes would draw the party to the right, and indeed both Held and Stegerwald have suggested overtures to DKP, and even more rightward parties. The strongest rebuttal to Held's article has come from leading Baden progressive Josef Weth, who argues that such adventures risk the party's position at the center and the trust of their Catholic electorate at a critical time. Whether Weth's words will be heeded or not is an open question. This is not the time to be exposing ourselves to such risk. I'm going to pass on that. Oh, a rather unique case has been sluggishly passed through our legal system for years. Now it has reached the highest court in the German state. Anti-colonial activist Jomo Kenyatta has brought a class action lawsuit against the former Middle African administration for its conduct during the 1925 pacification of Kenya. The case has become something of political embarrassment. As some of the plaintiffs are British settlers, it cannot be easily dismissed. They claim that the Schutztruppe harmed them through policies of illegal land seizures and even abductions and tortures, all done with knowledge of Middle African administrators and with little legal basis. While the main parties involved are no longer in our administration, commentators have noted that an award by the court could potentially set a precedent as to what the permissible extent of rule bending of our colonial administrations is. We have nothing to fear. Right? Oh, Jesus. That's gonna hurt us. I just realized. Do we have that right now? We used to have that right now, Jesus. I don't even want to look at our consumer goods factories. Let's demand renewal of the Treaty of Metz. After the Weltkrieg, Chancellor Wilhelm Solf secured the Treaty of Metz with the new Communist regime, in which they confirmed that they will abide by the Treaty of Versailles and keep the Franco-German border demilitarized. As both these terms have been broken de facto, we should pressure Paris to accept, depicting them as warmongers worldwide. I kind of like that. Oh. This is interesting. Having been in free fall for the past month, the economic crisis has finally reached a modicum of stability, or at least it doesn't have much where else to fall. The least stable companies and banks have gone under, and now the more durable ones compete in a shrinking, silenced environment. Investor trust is at an all-time low, and so new investments are non-existent and production stagnates. And of course, millions of workers who had stable jobs last year are now on the streets, desperate for work. But companies shaken by the financial collapse are very hesitant to expand and employ more workers again. The initial surprise and shock in the German government has subsided, and our secretariats and ministries may begin developing solutions. The amount of work is enormous. The state must somehow recover the economy of the empire back to its old heights, taking on challenges which may require wildly different financial strategies each. The bureaucratization officials thus eagerly await the results of the April elections. Perhaps next government will have the political capital needed for the necessary action. We shall restore the miracle of the Golden 20s. Black Monday Crisis card game will be initiated. Must win at least 10 rounds of game and prove the economic health to -1 to put an end to this crisis. This is a fucking Kaiserreich card game. Well, shit. It's time to duel. Black Monday trading card game is a turn-based game which you must play against the crisis and defeat in a match of wits and strategy. Every 30 days, you'll draw a hand from your deck of cards, including 3 types: relief, recovery, and reform. These cards can boost one another, draw more cards, give you advantages, or simply deal investment and stability score your attack and defense. At the end of a round, you must surpass a crisis of stagnation and economic decline, while also being aware of the mounting toll this takes on your debt. Interesting. If our debt level reaches 200% of GDP, we will enter debt default. We will lose Black Monday card game, and our economy will collapse. We don't want that. We really do not want that. Okay, so we have a liquidity crisis right now. Money creation cards will be more effective. Alright, let's go ahead and issue out some money. Do some capital controls. We'll do that to start off. It's going to be a little simple, but years of legal battle have come to an end earlier in court today when litigation of Yomo Kenyatta settled at the highest court of Germany. While the Kikuyu lawyer has skillfully defended his points, the defense was represented by renowned political theorist Carl Schmitt. The jurist produced a novel defense that has established new legal precedent, but Schutztruppe command has allegedly acted in the interest of the state by taking necessary steps to ensure the integrity of our empire in a state of exception. The finer details of Schmidt's case were largely based on his essay on political theology, which gave birth to the phrase, "Sovereign is he who decides on the exception." Whether Schmitt intended this or not, the phrase has become the catchphrase for supporters of a more hardline approach to colonial governance. What is this nonsense? What? Famine in Sichuan? Let's get some mechanical computing going. Oh, shit. As predicted by quite a few during the campaign, no majority has been found in the Reichstag after the election of 36. Majority is possible without the participation of either the SPD or the DVLP, two parties on different ends of the political spectrum, either of which would need time to dismantle the old consensus and craft a new coalition in the legislature. However, there's no time for the Reichstag to bicker amongst themselves until they finally form a government, which each passing day, the economic situation grows worse, and the faith of people falters further. When the parliamentarians cannot lead, the duty to make a decision falls to Kaiser Wilhelm II. Even after the March Constitution, his role in the formation of government remains definite. And whenever there's no obvious majority in the Reichstag, he is seen fit to appoint a compromise choice like Brokendorf or loyalists of court like Dirksen. Through Crown Prince Wilhelm, the Kaiser was recommended an interesting choice, Kurt von Schleicher, the current Minister of War in Prussia. Ever since Lear von Caprivi's resignation in 1894, Wilhelm II has been reluctant to appoint military candidates to the office. Parliamentarians would hardly wish to see a uniformed man command the empire either, as it brings back memories of Hindenburg and Ludendorff's plotting during the Weltkrieg. However, Schleicher offers several valuable qualities as well. During the past 2 decades, he has nurtured the image of a moderate who works well with the Reichstag, has ties and connections across the political spectrum, is known support of trade unions such as the ADGB, earning him the moniker the Red General. At a time when national unity is necessary, all of these qualities are crucial. Finally, he's a close friend of the Crown Prince Wilhelm, who was a major influence on his aged father and eventually got him to appoint the new Reichskanzler. Well, willkommen, Reichskanzler Schleicher. Elections have been held in the German Empire after 2 years of failed government and the stock market crash, which resulted in a worldwide economic collapse. The empowered permanent opposition parties, the SPD and DVLP, gained a large enough share of the vote that another moderate liberal Catholic cabinet is no longer possible. The elections are gone, it seems. In the light of a difficult situation, Kurt von Schleicher has been appointed as a unifying figure. Schleicher is a general of the Heer and the Prussian Minister of War, who accumulated impressive influence in the past few years. Pragmatic to the core, he expresses his wish to work with all parties in the Reichstag to combat the crisis, but he does not shy away from his true goal, a stronger, more centralized, and mineralized empire. We hope he does well. Well, we'll have to see how well he does next time, because I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. But thanks always for watching, gang. Like this video if you like, dislike if you didn't. Leave any comments or feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I appreciate any old feedback you might have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below. And I will see you all next time. good night, and, well, guten Abend. Guten Nacht. Whatever it is. Whatever time of day it is as well. Goodbye.